Why can't women say no? Me Too, October 27th, 2018. It's worse than you think. It's not just that there are some women who can't say no to sex. Some women can't even say no when you ask them for their phone number. I wanted to build confidence, and I was going to take a Dale Carnegie course, but they're pretty expensive, about $1,000. So I found a YouTube video that had a similar course. They kind of they kind of drag you into it with a $7 starter and then talk you into the $200 for the whole caboodle. So I got the whole caboodle because it promised a 60-day money back guarantee to meet any woman you want and get laid at the drop of a hat. It's basically a pickup course on how to be a player, but it's cheaper than Dale Carnegie. I also wanted to learn, to take the course because the Bible doesn't teach how to meet women. This course claims to teach you what to say and how to read women's minds. And who in the hell doesn't want to read women's minds? After the first 10 minutes of this course, I was asking for my money back because this guy was basically teaching men how to rape women. Every one of the stories I read on the Me Too hashtag on Twitter, with a why I didn't tell, was from some woman who had met these men that taught this pickup course. This guy was teaching how to use your knee between a woman's legs on the dance floor to get a woman horny. This is basically sexual assault. The guy was teaching you how you should never ask a woman to come to your place for sex. You should just tell them that you want them to come over to your place to watch Netflix. These are the same things I was hearing on the Me Too movement by women who were claiming they were raped when they thought they were only going over to the guy's house to watch some movies. I really wanted my money back, but then I realized from watching some of the YouTube videos that women don't like nice guys. So you almost have to be one of these assholes to get laid or even to meet a woman. I'm such a nice guy, I couldn't get laid if I gave a hooker $1,000. She would just take my money and walk away. I'd be like George Costanza, are you going to call me? This guy in this video was one of the kind of guys I would just like to beat his ass if I met him in a bar. But I figured I didn't have to be exactly like this guy. I could just use some of the tips. And the other guy that taught in this course, although he was a blabbermouth that just talked for hours and didn't say anything, just like a politician, I thought I could learn something from him too. These are the kind of guys I hate, so maybe that's what I need to be more like them. It was a class that did have some good information. It talked about qualifying or qualifiers, things you don't even think about when you're meeting people. But the first thing you do when you meet people is you see if they qualify or you qualify them to see if they meet your standards. They may be disqualified for looks, age, religion, or for one of the qualifiers that I had. I don't date women with tattoos. Why? I don't know. Nobody I know or knew dates women with tattoos. It's just a rule that I had my whole life, and I've cut hundreds of women out of my life because they had tattoos. I could make another video just about tattoos alone. But this is why I felt fear around women with tattoos. So I didn't even know why I was fearing them. I was afraid because they had tattoos, and I didn't even realize it. I bought a book called fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I told a friend that I wanted to conquer my fear of heights. He said, if you conquer your fear of heights, I may die by falling off a roof. And so there may be good reasons why I had this fear of tattooed women. Either they're not the kind of women God wants me to be with, as religion teaches, or the devil teaches in the church to keep these women in the sex slave industry of stripping and pornography. Several videos could be made on that subject also. I may make several more videos about this class that I signed up for later. The point is that this class had exercises that you were supposed to do to meet women. Introduce yourself, flirt, get their phone number, etc. Actually, I think the class actually skipped getting their phone number part. They just went right to the sex. I guess they didn't want the girls to have their phone number after they raped them. Another video on YouTube said you need to have several phone numbers. In case one girl rejects you, you have several more you can call. This way you don't feel needy when trying to get a date. Don't call up all 7 at the same time. Call up one and then get a few more phone numbers and then call up another one. So my exercise or goal for that night was to go out to the bar and try to get some phone numbers. When I was younger, I had no problem getting phone numbers. You asked a girl to dance, you danced, and then you asked her for her phone number because it was too loud in the bar to hear what anyone was saying anyway. Then you asked another girl to dance and you got her number. The next day you had a pocket full of phone numbers. Some of them were numbers with no names on them, and some of them, with the number to the pizza store. But you had several of them, so it didn't matter. You called up the ones that had names on them and got a date if it wasn't the pizza store. Well, none of the numbers I got was the pizza store, but basically sometimes women do give you the wrong number. This was back in the day where people had regular telephones. If the girl gave out her number to the wrong guy, she would have to spend $70 to get a new phone number. Today it is completely different with smartphones. I put my phone number on the internet. I don't care if weirdos call. I simply block them. Basically, even the weirdos will give up after a couple calls of being ignored. So the safest bet was to ask a girl that I already knew and was pretty sure that she was going to say yes or wasn't going to be shocked that I asked her for a number. So I just got this new smartphone and even had the bar owner put his Wi-Fi password into it so I could use their internet at the bar. And I had tape over my camera so that people on the internet cannot snap pictures of me, hackers. The waitress came over and I started flirting with her. Well, at least I tried to flirt, for whatever I learned from this class. And she made a comment about the tape on my camera. I told her it's to stop people from taking pictures of me, and she said they can listen into the microphone also. So we were on the subject of phones and how I got a new phone, and I mentioned I needed some numbers. So I asked her for her phone number to send text messages. Now, I probably wouldn't call her, and I didn't think it was a big deal. So she quickly gave me her phone number and walked away. It was a busy bar Friday night, so I didn't think anything about it. But I had to pick up my phone, open up the phone app, and try to type in, her phone number by memory. And it was an easy phone number to remember, kind of easy. But I wasn't sure if I got the number right. So when she came by again, I showed her my phone to see if the number was right. And she said it's not 221. Do you want your check? It was getting near the end of the night, but it was more like she was kicking me out of the bar because she didn't want to give me her number. And she couldn't say no for some reason. Then the bar owner started getting mad, but it wasn't um, because I asked her for her phone number. He was said he was mad because of the bad karaoke singing. Now I understand she didn't want to give me her number, but why didn't she just say no? Why didn't you say no? Well, no, thank you. She was afraid of hurting. What, was she afraid of hurting my feelings? Was this some kind of bar conspiracy where the bartenders and barmaids can't say no because they're trying to bring in customers with hot looking girls? And if someone finds out one of these girls said no, that they're going to lose business? I mean, she could have said no, thank you, if she was worried about hurting my feelings or whatever. Or even say, no, thank you, but thanks for asking. And if she really wanted to make a guy feel tiny, she could have added, no no thanks, no, thanks for asking. But it must be really hard for you to ask an attractive woman like myself for her phone number. Now, if this woman would have taken the course that I was taking, she would have answered, begin quote, you do not qualify for my phone number. Because that's the reason why she didn't give me the number. I didn't have the qualifiers necessary to meet her standards. She probably didn't even know why she didn't want to give me her number. She just knew she didn't want me to have it. So she may have been upset more at herself for giving me the number rather than just saying no. In the same way, women have sex and then claim rape later because they believe they were somehow tricked or manipulated into doing it. It may have been hard for her to say no to giving me her phone number because we were talking about my new phone and I knew her, and you know, she may have felt manipulated into giving me her number. Oh, even though it was a wrong number, I believe. I just deleted the number because I realized she didn't want me to have it when she wasn't going to confirm it was the right number. And it may be that the qualifier was that she didn't know me good enough, uh, even though I've been going to the bar for about 2 years. We haven't talked that much. But instead of saying no, she could have said, I don't know you that well. If there was a possibility of her giving me the number in the future. So basically, what happened was she felt obligated to give me her number because I knew her, but because I did not have her begin quote qualifiers, she felt some kind of pain about giving me her number. Therefore, I'm now basically considered a begin quote asshole end quote. Like the guys on the videos of the class I'm taking, they're fucking assholes. From watching other videos on YouTube, I learned that a lot of attractive women, they look so good that some men don't bother asking them for their phone number. Or the woman is so hot looking that even if they get their phone number when they are drinking at the bar, they can't call them when they are sober because of fear. So some women are wondering why guys don't call them, and it's because the men are afraid to call when they are sober. So they might get a call 2 weeks later from a drunk guy that they gave their phone number to 2 weeks ago, and it's because the guy was afraid to call them while he was sober. Women think they are being rejected, but it is simply the man is afraid to call. It's kind of sad in a way because the nice guys are afraid to call, And all the assholes are the ones calling girls and, screwing them over. The assholes are the guys with all the confidence that can get laid by 20 women a week. And this is why we have a rape culture. Once you learn how to get laid, well, then you just want to do it. You don't want to get married now. What the hell? The guys that get married are the ones that, like, well, I better get married. I ain't going to meet any other women. Don't have any confidence. So I guess the mistake or the faux pas I made was asking a girl much younger than me for her phone number. But I only asked for it for text messaging, which everybody does. Everybody in the bar is texting each other. I mean, everybody's on their phones. In the other bar I went to, the guy would call the bartender to order a drink. With text messaging, you could send the barmaid a text that you need another beer. At the other bar I go to, I was sending the karaoke host a text message with the song that I wanted to sing. But that got old because he didn't check his phone that often. So I stopped doing that. But I thought that was a good idea. It would be a better idea if you could text the song you wanted to sing and it automatically goes into the computer so that the karaoke host doesn't have to type the name of the song every time. Now, after watching the videos from Coach Red Pill, go check out his channel, who said never date a woman over 25, and realizing that most women over 20 have already slept with more people than I have, why not go for someone younger? I don't think you should date by age. I think you should date by the number of sexual partners. The guy that had 100 sexual partners, he should only date the women that are 100. Otherwise, it's kind of unfair. I've had sex with less than 5 women. In the future, you may actually be able to tell how many sexual partners a person had by DNA testing. Different sexual partners alter your body chemistry. The more relationships you have, the more it's going to alter your body chemistry. The more relationship videos you watch on YouTube, the more relationship videos YouTube sends to you. So you'll get these videos of recommended 10 to 15 ways of knowing how a woman likes you. So one of the ways is they will ask you a lot of questions. Another way is they will like your social media, retweet your tweets, thumb up your videos, etc. on Facebook and whatever, social media. But the best way to find out if a woman likes you is to ask her for her phone number. If she didn't give it to you, she don't like you. In the case of Sassy Cassie Kathy, she fucking hates me at this point. But it makes me feel good because now she is completely out of my head. I don't have to think about, hey, let's go to this bar. Maybe that hot looking chick is working there. I'll be more like, well, I'm not going to that bar with girls who can't say no when someone asks her for her phone number. If someone asked her for sex, she may feel obligated to say yes out of fear of losing a friendship because she can't say no, I'm not interested, thank you. Now, I have a lot of weird phone number stories because it's very hard to ask a girl for a phone number. One time a guy asked a girl for her phone number at an AA meeting, and I jokingly said, yeah, I'll have your phone number also. But that girl never gave me her phone number. It was just a joke. So then AA started using this critiquing method of teaching people that this is wrong. When I asked a girl for her phone number, some other guy did the same thing I did. But that girl gave him her phone number also. But she didn't have to. I know she's doing it because she's afraid the guy she wants to call her won't call her if she didn't give the other guy her number also. But actually, it's the reverse. I would have more respect for the girl if she would have said something like, begin quote, I'm giving this guy my phone number because he's nice, a nice guy, and so you can't have my number. Thank you. When she gave the other guy her number, just because she was afraid that I would not like her if she said no, because she's thinking in her head that would make her look like she's not very friendly. But that made me turned off. I was kind of turned off by that. You don't give out your phone number to somebody you don't want to have it just because somebody you want to have your number asked you for it. It's not making you look like a nice person. It's making you look like you don't like the person who you want to have your number. One woman gave me her phone number when I didn't even ask for it. But then she played hard to get when I did call her. I called her a couple times and she was never home. And when she finally answered, she said she was on her way out the door to call her back later. If this chick called me up and I was on my way to the emergency room, I think I would still wait and talk to her for a few seconds just to see what she was calling for. Maybe even ask her if she wanted to meet me at the emergency room. So I never returned her phone call, even though she gave me her number. No, sorry. I called you 3 times. That's enough.